Hello, I hope you had fun yesterday planning your adventure story with your interesting character, thinking about the setting and what kind of quest they would be going on. So, today we are going to actually write that story, and on Purple Mash, there is a to write to do task that you'll be able to go on and create this story. Now, when you did your comic strip, you will have planned your story in different sections. I would suggest that you use that as a good indicator for your different paragraphs. Now, I've managed to get here a little word map with maybe some vocabulary and ideas that you can use in your story. So, there are some example openers on there. They might help you a little bit just to kind of either start a new paragraph or the actual whole story. Then we've got some really good vocabulary that lends itself very well to an adventure. And then we've got some subordinating conjunctions at the bottom left in the pink box, and in the green box at the bottom right we have some alternative words for said. Now, earlier on in the week, we looked at using speech and speech punctuation, so it would be really good if you could include some of that into your story and maybe think about using these more interesting words compared to said. When you've thought about your story, then you're going to write that story, and we talked a lot about that yesterday. But I've got here a little checklist for you to look at, and this checklist will help you think about all the things that you can include. So we just go through each of those points. Did I include a title to make the reader want to read my story? Say you want to be kind of thinking about some exciting words or coming up with some mystical land that maybe will entice the reader to read in, to join in. Or they might want to have a hint at what the story will involve. So it could be like the magic elixir, something like that. And you'll have to look up what an elixir is. Then have we got a beginning to introduce the characters and the setting. So that's your first paragraph. And can you remember we've talked a lot about show, not tell. So we find out about our character and where they are as we read through the story, and those details are kind of woven into the story and they are implied rather than just written down exactly. We need that build up. I talked about that build up yesterday. They're going to go on a quest, going to go on an adventure. So we're going to have some little steps that we'll have to go through to do that, what it will be like, how they're feeling, all the way through that part of the story. Then we have that dilemma. Something goes wrong. The plan is not completely working as it should do. So then we have to think about how our character will resolve that. So your resolution is where your character sorts out that problem. So yesterday I suggested that maybe they'd have to fight a dragon, and that's the big dilemma. And then maybe that battle that they have with the dragon might be your resolution. Or it might be a resolution where you've had to trick somebody so that you can escape their wrath. Then you need an ending to close the story. So at the end, we don't want to just and then they defeated the dragon and lived happily ever after, the end. We want a proper ending. So they've completed the quest. What happened next? Dialogue to advance the action. Now, dialogue means that you're including some speech. I don't want you to include loads of speech, just some, and that says to advance the action, to make the story more interesting, more exciting. Maybe using that at those really good, relevant times to help kind of build up that tension and excitement. Can you also include some short, snappy sentences for effect? So we talked a lot about this in the past, is that a good piece of writing is comprised from simple sentences, complex sentences, short, snappy sentences, all sorts of things like that. And then we've got cliffhanger questions. They're actually kind of rhetorical questions that you put in your story. What would happen next? How would I escape the dragon? All of those kinds of things can be included in your story. Now, I know that you also know lots and lots of other brilliant things that you can include in your writing. And if you look on Purple Mash, there are some guides for the Year 4 targets that you've already done. If there are any of you that are feeling super challenged today and you really want to do your very best, try and include some of those Year 5 targets that we started. So the parenthesis, using the brackets to add extra information. Some of you are starting to use colons and semicolons correctly, or dashes. And if we can get that into the writing, we're going to be really impressed. So I hope you enjoy writing your story, and I can't wait to read them. Good luck, everybody, and enjoy your weekend.